Hey there, geeks! We are back with another edition of the Wizards Wednesday Rewind. Yes, we're ready to review some comics that we picked up at the shop. Yep, new comics from an old comics podcast. Who knew? But we're on this train and we're running with it. I'm Adam.
And I'm Mike from a hotel room.
Yes, this time around he's on the road, but he was so excited to talk about these issues that he was able to jump on in here. We will say these are issues that were voted on, by our social media followers, by people who enjoy, checking out our content here on the channel. And so we gave them four choices. These are the two they picked. The first one we're going to start out with here is Energon Universe. Okay. Everybody was very excited. There's a new Transformers book coming out here. Now we got this book. We both went to grab it, and we noticed something about this book. We already had this book. Yes, free comic book day.
Okay, let me clarify. Let me
Yeah.
clarify. I don't have that book. I couldn't get it at my local shop, but you told me about it. And as I read it, I was like, this feels familiar.
Yeah, we talked about it on the first episode of the Wednesday Rewind because we were going through our special bonus conversation about Free Comic Book Day here. And yeah, so I too was reading through this and I'm like, okay, so they were just giving us a few pages from the first issue. They were going to get all of it. No, this is the same comic except for the cover, interior covers as well.
Okay.
And I was just like, what is going on here?
Wait, are you sure? Like like you're sure? Like you
Yeah, page for page. I went through all of it and I was just like, this is identical. And I mean, look, this does say, that it's free comic book edition, free comic book day edition. So maybe they were just teasing us, like just say
So
like,
you
hey,
have the Void Rival story.
yep, that's in here. And
You
it's
have
in
the
here
Duke
too.
story.
Yeah, and the G.I. Joe in the back. Yeah, it's all here.
What
So
were they thinking? Like, I feel like I don't feel like I was ripped off. Well, I do feel like I was ripped off because, but I also feel like I was ripped off. This is a weird strategy on their part.
it is a strange choice because yeah, like we're all excited, like, oh, these were pretty good little teasers in the free comic book day edition. Sounds like they got
Yeah.
some good going here, and then to just release it again, but for a cover price. I don't understand, like, if they just thought, oh, well, it's a variant, so people are going to be excited to have a variant, but they'll want to buy the real one, of which, there are multiple variant covers as they show you on the back here, to be had. So it's just like, but yeah, it's disappointing. It's upsetting to spend $4 on something you could literally get for free just a few days earlier. So
Yeah. See, I got really excited because it was only 3.99, and I had just bought Batman for 4.99, so I was really excited. But when I realized it was just the free comic book day comic, that was quite upsetting.
yeah, I'm curious to see if anybody else has commentary on this, if anybody else gets duped, because again, I don't know, maybe some retailers out there can tell us how you feel about this, but I don't flip through my comics in the store. I feel like I'm cheating. I feel like I'm,
Yeah.
it's not
I
a
don't want to
reading
spoil
library.
it.
Yeah.
You don't want to spoil it, right, Adam?
Yeah. So it's just like,
Yeah.
I know what I want. Here's the cover. I'm going to grab it. Yeah. This time it bit us. But
So
yeah.
I have a question for you. Okay, so I didn't get to read the free comic book day comic, and I know you had mentioned that you thought it was kind of a cool primer for
Yeah.
yourself, like but which it is and everything. Um, but now knowing what's in I've been keeping up on these. I've read Void Rivals. I've read Transformers up to like issue 4 or 5. I haven't. I have all the issues. I just haven't gotten around to reading them all. Were you not confused at all? Like, I feel like I would be very confused by this.
I mean, I gotta say, like, I just figured, okay, I'm coming in on something I haven't read before, so I'm expecting to be confused. So that's what I would say for
Okay.
you. You've been catching up, but I just kind of have that expectation. I'm like, okay, well, I mean, I have a general idea what's going on here. There's some action with, like I was saying before, Megatron gets kind of cut into pieces, and then he seems like he's coming back for revenge, but he also, it's a crossover with the GI Joe universe, so he's fighting, the bad guy from GI Joe the
I love
movie.
that. That was great.
So it really is. It's like Transformers the movie meets G.I. Joe the movie, and they're mashing it together. So that's kind of cool. But I don't know. It does leave a bad taste in my mouth where I'm kind of like, I don't think I'm gonna buy any more issues of this. Like it's just I don't
Yeah.
know.
So will you try Transformers now or GI or Duke? Because Duke is really cool and the Cobra Commander comic is really cool. But the fact that you got duped into $4 comic.
Yeah, I don't that's what I'm saying. I'm just like, again, maybe just a marketing faux pas on their part. The publishers thought it would make more sense, but like we're giving the first issue away for free. Isn't that great? It's like, but you gotta tell us. You gotta tell us not to buy the first issue then. Like, give us a
Yeah.
heads up on that. And but that being said, I think our other comic that was voted on I may have a different opinion there, and we'll see where that goes. But before we get into that, real quick, because we're not going to actually talk about this again, because we've already talked about it in our free comic book day episode, we did just kind of have another issue that was up on the list, and we're going to talk about it real quick. Geiger #2. We were secretly saying, like, will people vote for this new Ghost Machine title, which actually isn't that new. There was a series before this big kind of relaunch of the Ghost Machine brand with a much larger group of creatives involved. But I did not read that earlier one. But reading the preview issue, the Ghost Machine book that was released, that had a little bit of everybody in it, and then the first issue, I was just like, this series is so cool. Just the story itself is essentially, it's kind of like, I don't know, you could think of like maybe like The Last of Us, or like it's any like loner guy who gets pulled into like helping people, and he acts like he doesn't care but he really cares. It's that kind of setup, but it is done so well. Like
This
I
issue in part
yeah.
this issue in particular is like a Western.
Yeah, exactly.
It's really, really cool. So Adam, there was a one miniseries and then they
Uh-huh.
did a two-issue miniseries
Oh,
before this series that gives you it's like a prequel to the other miniseries.
I see. Okay.
Yeah. So
And
there
for those who don't know, the basic setup is this is like a post-apocalyptic universe, and the Ghost Machine universe has like stuff in the past, in the present, and the future. It's really cool how they've set up the timeline for that. But so Geiger is this guy who he had a family. He just was living his life and stuff happened, and now he's essentially radioactive. They call him the glowing man because literally, like, he's just a guy in a hood. Kind of looks like Boba Fett from Book of Boba Fett a little bit. He's just kind of bald, and he's just, and then basically when he gets angry, even though he can control it through these rods that kind of absorb
yeah.
the radioactivity, but then like if he gets riled up, he'll like, and now
But
he is a
the
glowing green skin. You see his skull through his skin. I mean, it's really an awesome look.
the two-issue miniseries explains the rods and how he got them,
Okay.
essentially. So yeah, there's a bit of a history behind him, but it's really cool that you like I've been following this series from the beginning, and I've just loved every single issue. But it's cool that you're picking it up from this new series. This is the ongoing, and
Hmm.
you seem to be having no problem adjusting. You're just like in. Whereas this, you went in being like, I'll be confused. This, you don't seem confused. You just seem to be going along for the ride.
It's so well like explained and paced, but it's not like it has a big like recap page or anything like that. It's Jeff Johns writing. The guy knows how to write a story. It's Gary Frank on the art, which
Oh my God, the art.
it is so beautiful. Every time he glows up, I don't know if that's what you want to call it. Look at this. Look at how awesome.
That's insane. Yeah, it's so good.
Honestly, what's funny to me is like there was this old Masters of the Universe character, Scareglow, and it's like, what if Scareglow got his own comic? That's what this is. If he had a good backstory. But specifically issue 2, I think like you're saying, it's such a great story. And here, basically, he wants information. He's like, I have this problem. I here's a rumor about somebody else that has that problem but got cured somehow was radioactive and glowing like him, but no longer is. He wants the information, but the only way the person in town will tell him how he can find that person, or at least give a name, is he has to stop this bandit that's been coming in and stealing supplies from the town. And what's the twist there, Mike? Do you want to give it away?
What, the twist at the end where
Yeah,
you find out about the bandit? And
yeah.
well, it's actually sad. I actually thought the ending was quite sad because the bandit was really just doing it for like his family. He needed to survive. And then we find out there's actually someone else hunting the glowing man. I'm curious as to who that'll be. So Adam, one other thing is there's this character, I forget what is his name. The Nuclear Knight. So he's a new character. He isn't he shows up in issue 1 for the first time. What do you think of him? He's a
I think he's fun.
great
Now they
little
do say in this issue, he's like, I'm the guy you fought back, like
bot.
in one
Yes.
of the previous stories, but whether or not that was intended at the time. But yeah, so he's like this pathetic guy who used to work for this kind of big crime lord. I'm guessing this guy who's like in charge of, is it New Vegas? What do they call it?
Yeah, he's such a he's yeah, it is. It's like a Vegas. It's like a post-apocalyptic like Vegas. It's hard to explain. And it's like this young like king or prince that kind of runs things. It's so weird.
Yeah, but this guy's like he feels bad that he was essentially like a lackey to, a
To that
criminal.
guy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and he did bad things, and he's like, I want to be a hero like you. I see you saving people. And Geiger, as we call him, like he's like, I didn't do anything good. I'm just doing what I'm doing. Okay, he's like, stop admiring me. Like he's like, you can come along. Okay, fine, but
I'm just
just
trying to survive.
yeah. And so it's a really interesting dynamic they have there because this guy's just like, you're everything I want to be. And he's like, shut up. But come on. It's that kind of attitude. But yeah, he's a real interesting character in that way because, like, yeah, so pathetic, but he is endearing. And you do see his heart is now in the right place, but that, a lot of people don't like him because he was part of criminal activity and being mean to people essentially in this world. So other people want to kill him, but he's with the glowing man, so he has a little bit of protection because glowing man has a reputation that people are aware of as well. So but
Yeah,
yeah, it's such a good story. Like it just a little bit that we're only in issue 2 here that I've read. I'm just like I'm in. Like I really love it.
that's great. Just 2 issues in, and we're both like all in on this series. So,
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah.
So, should we talk about our next one, Batman?
So
So,
yeah, the free comic
I've been
day,
I've
we talked a little bit about this new Batman character that is they were
we
teasing
did.
this.
Yeah, I've been in I came in on this run when Zdarsky started on the series. So I've been in, but I kind of have dropped out at points. So I've been in and out. So while I know a lot more than you, I'm still a bit confused with little details because I feel like I missed a few issues recently. I I don't know why. It feels confusing. So I'll be curious to know your take if I feel confused.
Well, that was the thing. So I remember when we were talking about this character and
Yeah.
what's his name again? Why am I blanking?
Failsafe.
Failsafe. I would keep wanting to say mainframe. I'm like, it's not mainframe. Failsafe. So you were kind of like, I don't really know the origin. I don't really get.
Well, I know the origin. Like, so Failsafe was created to, I just forget who the villain was that Batman killed. And I'm like, is he actually dead? Like, it could be the Riddler for all I know. I don't remember who it is. Someone in the comments will say, like, you idiots.
Well, the Riddler's in this issue, so I know
So
he's
it's not the Riddler.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But my point is that he goes to kill someone or he threatens to kill someone, and Failsafe is we should really go back. He's basically turned on to stop Batman from killing anyone, or he's become a harm to everyone, and so Failsafe tries to stop him. What ends up happening is Batman's thrown into a different universe altogether,
Oh, so this is a
and
while ago.
yeah, this is issues ago.
Wow. Okay.
This is like months ago. and he ends up in this other universe, and then I don't remember the details. Again, I was like in and out constantly with this series, but he meets that Batman that has multicolors, like purple, yellow, red. They mention his name quite a bit in this issue.
Yeah.
Abin Sur or something. Is
It's
that
not
his
Evan
name?
Sir because that's Green Lantern, but
That's
I can't
who is
grasp
it?
the name either. I cannot keep it in my brain because I'm like they do say it over and over again, and I'm just like, I don't know what you're saying.
Oh, see, you're okay. You're saying Riddler's in this because of the backup story.
Right.
But where does the backup? I hate the backup stories. I
You
hate
don't
that
know
they're
what
doing this.
time frame
Yeah, where what is this time frame? Um, yes, you're right. We're so bad. People are going to be so angry that we cannot pronounce his name.
oh, it's Zur and Rs.
I
Zur and
was
R.
so close. I was so close.
Or yeah, I'm sure. Yeah,
I
so
got the Zer right.
Zur and R's guy, is that what's going on in this alternate dimension? That's what it sounded like.
Yeah, and I wish I could remember.
And he
I
like
kind
transfers the consciousness into failsafe because that's
that that's where I did not read. So I
okay.
don't know when that happened. I just saw him in the other universe and I kind of dropped the title for a bit. So he's in this other universe where it's just, parallel Gotham essentially. But then when I picked it up, I picked it up again during the Joker storyline. So anyone that's watching, there was a three-part Joker story where you find out that Joker and Batman were essentially trained by the same guy. It's a very strange decision. I like it. I don't know. Like it. I feel like I have no real opinion about it. Like, but what I do like about Zdarsky's series is that everything he set up early on is really coming back now. Like this has been issues he's been building to this. The failsafe story was what started it, and then we went to what's his name? You just said his name.
Now his
Something
name Zur and
Zur
R's.
Zur-En-Ars, and now we're getting Zur-En-Ars Robin. This is the first appearance. This is the big book ever.
Well, yeah, so this is what's so interesting about this. Again, I have none of this backstory, and I'm getting the only reason I know a little bit about this character is I got that free comic day book, the Absolute Power. It gave me some idea that there's this robot Batman running around, and I'm like, robot Batman, what is this? And so in here, I find out the DC universe doesn't know he's not Batman. He's
Yeah,
telling everybody he's Batman. I don't know how he's
it's just
explaining, but I have a
consciousness.
robot
Yeah.
body.
And even Robin is confused by it.
Yeah,
Robin's like, wait a minute, you're
yeah.
not Batman.
Damien, his son, does not know that he is that he is not his father until halfway through the book. But it's like that's really cool. And then meanwhile, you talk about Bruce Wayne is on the run now, and he's hiding out from Failsafe, and he
So
keeps talking about how like he was in his brain and sharing his thoughts.
he was just in jail with the Joker. But I didn't read the final part of the Joker story, so I don't know how he got out of jail, or I don't think I read 146.
Yeah, but it's like,
So
so what I loved about this issue is even as somebody who has none of this background on any of these characters or what's been going on for years, like the last time I read a Batman comic was like what, like 5 years ago, like that I got a subscription. You're gonna love this, Mike, to a Thundercats He-Man crossover series that DC
oh,
was publishing.
that's a
And
great series.
but it was only like 4 issues. So I got a year subscription. So they started sending me Batman after that. And then
Oh,
and then so I'm reading Batman, and it was during the time he was getting ready to marry Catwoman. Like that's how long ago this was. And so now to catch up here and be like, this is totally different. And I actually like this. I was not interested in those stories that were going on then. And so
so
this is fascinating to me. This whole premise is great.
well, I will say Zdarsky is such a good writer. Like the fact that you could jump in and just enjoy it is fantastic. My criticism has more to do with like I don't understand why DC doesn't include a previously on or
Hmm.
some sort of like way to catch up new readers. I feel like they're missing out on so much because like even me, I've been keeping up with it, but I can't remember what I read 8 months ago. I just don't have the brain capacity to keep that in my head.
but he's masterful enough in his writing that that came through to me
Totally.
in the dialogue, in the people having discussions,
It,
but it wasn't like, we're going to do exposition now. It was just like, by the way, I'm feeling this because this happened. And you're
but
like,
I wish, because I know he was just in jail with the Joker. I would love to know how he got out. Like, just details would be great to be summarized.
yeah.
And again, this has nothing to do with the comic itself. It has everything to do with, I've never understood why DC doesn't give a synopsis as to where we are. Let me catch you up to speed. We're 147 issues in.
So what I want to say about this though is the great thing is my complaint about like Spider-Woman, my complaint, about these other books that we've been reading is that nothing's happening. Even Ultimate Spider-Man that I said I liked, nothing happens in this book. So much is happening in this book. There are subplots, kind of characters dealing with, like, especially like even the Bruce Wayne thing. Like you get this, he goes to like this cabin that the Waynes had. He has a flashback to training Tim and how to like do a bow and arrow and stuff. And then all of a sudden, Tim Drake is there to support him and be like, hey, you don't have to do this alone. Like you have other people that are here for you. I'm here for you right now. And they have this great thing where they kind of like walk off, arms around the shoulders, Batman or Robin, Batman or Robin. Like Bruce Wayne actually connecting with a human being. I feel like I have not read in any Batman comic in so long. It's great to see he has an actual relationship with Tim and he respects him. And he talks about like, for Dick and I, it was natural to fall into these roles. Tim had to work for it. And he's really, been up for the task and all this stuff. Like, I love all the relationships here, but especially just this tease that, okay, so Failsafe is basically on the road to everybody's going to be after him. Like Amanda Waller like warns him like, hey, your superhero friends, they're going to come after you soon. All that you're doing here and sticking your nose where it doesn't belong, essentially you're overstepping your bounds. And so like I love that because I assume that's what absolute power is going to be, is that some sort of event that's happening. So it must be everybody going after Failsafe. I don't know. Maybe Amanda Waller too with all her.
I think
Yeah.
it's more Amanda Waller's story.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
that's my question is, do I need to keep reading Batman to follow this storyline, or is it going to go into an event? And I don't know that yet. But here's the shocker, Mike. I said I want to keep reading Ultimate Spider-Man. After seeing how much can be done in an issue, I'm dropping Ultimate Spider-Man. I'm reading Batman now. Like I'm
Whoa.
not
Why
reading
can't you
anything
get both?
else that we've.
Adam,
Batman is what I want. This is what I want. This is the kind of storytelling I want.
wow. You know Zdarsky's Canadian too, right?
Oh, good for you.
Yeah.
You guys, one more. You guys got
Support
so much
Canadian.
talent up there.
That's unreal. So you're not gonna get both? You're just
I don't, I realized, I said, this teases me with so much potential. Ultimate Spider-Man teases me with nothing. It promised me nothing. And so, like, I was just like, I'm holding out hope that maybe something cool would happen in issue 4, but I don't know that anything will. Here, I can tell by next issue, something cool is going to happen in this book. And something cool already happened several times in this issue that I read. So I'm just like, you did it, Zdarsky. Thumbs up.
this is great. I'm loving this. I'm loving the fact that you're into new comics.
Oh, I can't wait. Geiger, Batman. I think that's my sweet spot right now.
Yeah. Have you now we need to get you reading Redcoat. That's the next one.
We'll see. We'll see how many Ghost
And
Machine
Ruck.
I can add to my pull list here.
And also, people watching, they'll need to vote for Ultimate Spider-Man because I don't want to give up on that
You
yet.
want us to come back around? Well, that's the thing now. So again, you've seen what this discussion, what came out of this discussion. Some exciting news for my own reading, for Mike to have hope that he can add some more to my stack on every Wednesday. So you need to help us find out what we are going to read next time around. So that means
Yeah.
you go to our social media. We're at Wizards Comics on all the socials. Go on over to Wizards_Comics on Instagram. But you can find out what the 4 choices are, vote for it. We're going to get in there. You can also go to our Facebook group. You can join Wizards, the podcast guide to comics over there, where we also put up the survey. We're kind of aggregating all the surveys together. So it's a great time. We're excited to keep this series going. I mean, again, I don't know. Maybe I'll burn out, but maybe I'll just Keep the enthusiasm growing.
Keep the enthusiasm. So I need to know, out of 10, Batman.
Ooh, this was a 9 for me. How much I enjoyed it. Like I was just like,
Wow.
this is good. This is
I would
good
give it a
stuff.
7.5, I think. But
Okay.
that's because I've just been, it feels like it's gone on forever, but that's an ongoing series.
That's what I'm saying. You have a little bit of the fatigue that I'm hoping I'm at the tail end, like the climax of the story. I didn't have to be there for the buildup.
Okay, Geiger.
Ooh, Geiger is it was so perfect and self-contained. It feels unreasonable to say a 10, but it was a 10. Like as
It's a
far as
10.
comic book storytelling, it was great.
There's nothing, it had a full story and it continued a story and it opened up a new story.
Yeah.
I don't know how much better you can get.
Yeah, it's solid storytelling.
What would what would you give this not the story, but its existence?
Oh man, just I mean, you get a 2, I guess, only because you put a different cover on it. I guess that's gave us some original art. I don't know, but it was just I seriously I gotta know if anybody else was tricked or fooled or just uninformed like us, because we can't be the only ones that picked up the book and then said, "Wait, what? No, why?" So
Yeah,
yeah,
well, I was happy I hadn't read the Free Comic Day comic yet. So it worked out for me, but I did pay $4, so
yeah. There you
all
go.
right.
All right, everybody. Well, thanks again for checking this out. Stay subscribed here to Wizards, the Podcast Guide to Comics on YouTube. And until next time, keep your books bagged and boarded.